If you're looking to build your glutes, this power flow is a great place to be. You won't need any props, just your mat, and when you're ready, come to lie down in a reclined butterfly. Soles of your feet together, knees wide apart, allowing your hips to open up, arms are down by your sides, or you can place one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly, if that feels nice and nurturing. Bring your awareness to your breath, and just beginning to consciously slow down your breathing, filling up your belly with your inhale, exhale, letting it go, softening. Just noticing if you're holding on to tension, tightness, gripping in the muscles around your hips, and just see if you're able to gently let that go. Alright, gently bring your knees back together and take your feet wide apart and begin to gently drop your knees to one side and then the other, so reclined windscreen wipers. So just gently working into your hip mobility. And I'll pause with your knees dropped over to the right. And we'll hold here in a reclined twist. Option to take your right foot on top of your left knee. And then switch the sides. This time maybe left foot comes on top of the right knee just to take the twist a little bit deeper, it's just an option. And then release, hug both knees into your chest, give yourself a nice big squeeze. And find a few gentle rocks from side to side. Now keep hold of your right knee, extend your left leg out long. Squeezing that knee in, finding that hip compression. And then extending your leg up towards your ceiling, or the sky for outside like me, for a hamstring stretch. Just flexing and pointing the toes, finding a couple of ankle circles in either direction. And then maybe taking your stretch a little bit deeper, sliding hands up towards your calf or ankle. And now we'll come into a half happy baby. So you're bending that knee, flexing your foot up towards the ceiling, just catching hold of wherever's available, shin, ankle, foot, it's all good. Wherever you are, you're just gently guiding the knee down towards your shoulder. And release, take both knees to chest, and we'll switch to the other side. So this time left knee is hugging into chest. Perhaps finding a tiny bit of movement, just working around that hip compression. And now extending that leg up to the ceiling for your hamstring stretch. So we're just gently, slowly warming up the legs as we're going to be building lots of strength. Just getting everything mobilized, ready for more action coming later. Maybe you're taking that hamstring stretch just a little bit deeper. And then find your happy baby. So did you know half happy babies can actually be more effective than a full happy baby, as you've got more control on how you tilt your hips. So it can allow you to get a little bit deeper. Every day is a school day, my friends. Extend that left leg now and hover your right leg off the floor. Lift your chin and chest up away from the floor, reach your hands forward and begin to switch your legs. So we're warming up the core here, really crunch it in so you're rounding up into a crunch in the upper body. And then hug your knees to chest, double leg extensions. This time you're extending your legs, reaching your arms overhead, and then swimming your arms as you hug knees to chest. So those of you who are au fait with Pilates, this is such a classic movement to really get into the deep core. And a release. We're going to come into a dead bug, so take your knees into tabletop, and then you're going to extend opposite arm, opposite leg. This is a workout for the brain as well as the body, but it's so good again for really targeting those deep core muscles. You want to see if you can really try and imprint your low back on the mat, so avoid it lifting up by tilting your hips. Alright, take your hands behind your knees and begin to rock and roll up and down your spine. And you can take this roll right the way back almost into a plow pose, maybe even tapping your toes on the floor behind your head. Keep going, using your core to lift you up, gently pausing at the top. Okay, next time you're up, let's pause in Navasana boat pose, lifting up your chest, and then crossing at your ankles, rock forward onto hands and knees, and we'll find a few rounds of cat-cow, mobilizing your spine, getting it nice and warm. So inhale, coming forward into cow, exhale, really rounding, pressing your mat away. And then pause in a neutral spine, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back into a downward facing dog, finding any movement that feels good. Beginning to stretch into the backs of the legs. And then from here, take baby steps up towards the top of your mat, coming into a ragdoll. And just find any movement that you like in your forward fold, just allowing your spine to decompress, releasing any tension from the back of your neck. And then bend into your knees, slowly begin to roll up through your spine, coming up to stand. We'll warm up some more with some sun salutations. So beginning to introduce some more dynamic movement. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank. Option to lower knees for this first one, lowering all the way to your belly. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, pressing back into a downward facing dog. Finding stillness in your down dog. We're here for a couple of breaths. And then on your next inhale, step forward, lift up into half lift. Exhale, rebend and fold. Inhale, arms reach up as you rise to stand. And then exhale, hands through Tadasana. One more, inhale, Ardha Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Maybe heels release a little bit more closely towards the ground. And then inhale, come forward into your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching up as you rise to stand. Exhale, hands through Tadasana. Oh, I lied before, we're taking one more. So inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, maybe jumping back into your Chaturanga this time. Inhale, upward facing. And then exhale, downward facing. Hopefully you're beginning to feel a bit warmer now. Always reconnecting with your breath in your down dog. Let's come forward into halfway lift. Exhale, rebend and fold. Inhale, arms lift. And then exhale, hands through Tadasana. All right, we're sun salutation B this time. Sit back into your chair. And then as you exhale, release it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hop it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing. Turn your left heel in, step your right foot forward for warrior one. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take it down to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Turn your right heel in, step your left foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower back down, stepping back into Chaturanga. That's all one breath out. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, pressing it back, downward facing. Big breath in through the nose. Out the mouth, exhale. Really good. All right, on your next breath in, step it forward, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, lower your hips, chair pose. Inhale, standing up, Tadasana. All right, once more. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hop it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing. Step your right foot forward, left heel turns in. Warrior one, we breathe in as we lift up. Breathing out as you lower your hands, step back all the way into chaturanga, one breath. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice, stepping left foot forward, right heel turns in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're really feeling warm, hopefully. Let's take some nice deep breaths in your down dog. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose. And then exhale, Tadasana. Right, we're coming back into our chair and we're holding here. So really sink your hips low. Just notice if you're arching in the low back, see if you can just gently tilt your tailbone down. Take your hands to prayer. And then from here, shift your weight into your left foot. Gracefully step back into your high lunge. So we really want to be really active in the legs here. Lower your back knee down. Coming into your low lunge. And then extend for your front leg, half splits. Folding forward any amount over that left leg. Take a breath here. And then rebend low lunge. Lift your back knee, and now you're launching forward with the strength of your legs and your glutes into warrior 3. Finding so much energy out through that back leg. Notice if your right hip is trying to tilt up, tilt it back down. From here, lift on up to stand, bringing that right knee up into chest. And then lower your hands. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, lower your hands back down. Give your shoulders a roll. Second side, coming back into your chair, lift your arms up, pausing in your chair for a moment, feeling really active in your legs, sinking your hips back and down. Can you lower a little bit deeper? Really firing up the legs and the glutes. Take your hands to chest. This time we're gracefully stepping back with the left foot, coming into your high lunge. Lots of energy out through that back foot. Lower your back knee. We're in our low lunge for a moment. Take a breath. And then we'll find our way into half splits, extending through your right leg, flexing toes up to your face. Taking a breath here. And then get ready to power it forward into your warrior 3, lifting that back knee, using the strength of your legs and your core, lifting up that back leg, maybe reaching your arms back, any arm variation of your choice. And now without letting that left foot come down onto the mat, you're lifting up to stand, hugging that left knee in towards your chest, and then lower it back down. Really nice. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step it back, chaturanga. This time lower all the way down onto your belly, coming up into a baby cobra. And we're going to do a little bit of back strengthening here, rolling your shoulders down away from you. Option to clasp your hands behind your back, lift your chest a little bit higher, and now lift your legs, coming into locust. You want to find a sensation of just reaching your feet away from you, so you're lengthening rather than lifting them up. Come into upward facing dog now. And then take it back, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Lower your knees, lower hips to heels. Take a moment in child's pose. Just a quick break here. And then when you're ready, coming back up into downward facing dog. And we'll continue on your next breath in. Lift your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, hug that knee in towards your chest. Pause. And then step forward, find your balance, lift up into your high lunge. All right, we're really firing up the glutes now. Squeeze into your right glute as you lower it, tap your knee down and lift back up. So inhale to tap, exhale, power it up. Inhale, tap, power that leg up. Keep going. And just keep tapping up and down. As I explained in the next movement, we're going to add on from here. You'll take your hands to your chest, tap your knee down, Lift up and then squeeze your knee into chest, so we're lunge drivers. So step back into your high lunge and then lift up, drive it forward in knee to chest. Take it back, lift on up, squeeze. A few more like this, driving that knee in towards your chest, and listen carefully, we're going to be adding on again. So as you drive your knee up into your chest, you'll find an open twist to the right. Left hand catches outside of the right knee. Feel free to look at the screen to get a visual if it's not very clear. We're moving quite quick, so keep driving that knee into your chest. Twist, step it back into lunge, twist, really testing your balance here. If you wobble and fall, don't worry. All right, I think next time we're pausing, holding your twist. Now, option to keep the knee bent, or use your left hand to catch hold of the outside of the right foot. Extend that leg, hold your twist, really press down through the left foot. Strong in the core, strong in the left glute. And our right hand reaches for the foot too. Hold it for a moment and then release. Keep that knee bent in towards your chest if you can. I just fell for a moment, all good. And cross your right ankle over the left knee and then sit your hips back into a standing pigeon pose. So just releasing out through the left hip, the left glute for a moment. You can reach your fingertips down to your mat. Maybe that helps you get a bit of a deeper stretch, or just to help with balance. And then lift on back up and then come back into Tadasana. Give the legs a shake. Strong work. Second side. Inhale, lift on up. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop into Chaturanga and then lower all the way to your belly. So we'll pause here in between sides for a little bit more back strength. Come into locust again, or if you like to take bow pose, bend into your knees, grab your outer ankles with your hands, and then lift your legs, lift your chest. Rocking onto your belly if you can to help lift your legs a little bit higher. Just be mindful if your knees are splaying out to the side, see if you can hug them in. And then release. Come on up into upward facing dog. And then take it back, downward facing dog. Take a breath as you mentally prepare yourself for the second side of our balance challenge. And then inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, hug that knee into your chest. Pause, round through the upper back. Step it forward. Find your balance, lift on up. High lunge. Breath here. And then we find our taps. So just tapping that back knee down and lifting up. Really squeeze through that left glute as you lift up. So legs are super, super active. And now we're adding on, finding those knee drives. So stepping back into your high lunge and then lifting up. Knee drive, driving that knee into chest, super strong. Core is really engaged. That's really going to help with your balance here. Are you ready to add on? Finding that twist. So stepping it back. You say inhale to step it back. Exhale, finding that twist. Reach your left hand back. Keep going. Finding your balance if you can. Core is so strong. And next time you're lifted, stay there. Pause in your twist. And then catching hold of the outside of your foot. I just fell, that's all good. Come back into it. I've really struggled with my balance on this side. It's so weird how sometimes your balance is great on one side but completely hopeless on the other. It's all good, it's just part of the practice. You just keep practicing. All right, taking your left hand to the foot now. Releasing, hugging that knee to chest. And then coming to your standing pigeon pose. Sinking your hips low. Giving that right glute and right hip a chance to release. And then lift on up, shake it out. All right, listen carefully. We're coming into another standing balance posture. This one is half lotus. If half lotus is not in your practice, if it hurts the knee, come into a tree pose instead. But if you can, take your standing half lotus with your right leg, option to wrap your right hand behind your back, see if you can catch the toes, and then fold forward, taking your left fingertips to your mat. You want to have your fingertips in line with your toes as much as possible. On your next breath in, lift your chest, exhale there, inhale, lift on up, and release. Second side, finding your standing half lotus, taking the left foot in towards your right hip, reaching left hand behind your back for your toes. Once again, if the knee is giving you the red light, if there's any pain, come into tree pose instead, okay? We don't want to mess with our knees if they're not up for it. If you have your bind, folding forwards. Fingertips to the mat or hand, if you can go a little bit deeper. And then inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, stay there. Inhale, release. And then exhale, come back to Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up high. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hop it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Let's lower the... Oh, now we're going to hop forward. Coming into a seated position. Alright, so we pause for a moment in Dandasana and then scoot it forward, come down onto your back. Time for back bends. So we'll begin with a bridge, pressing to your feet, lift on up your hips, snuggle your shoulder blades towards one another, and then clasping hands. If you can, really lifting your hips up high, coming up onto your shoulders, and then lower it back down. Okay, option to take your bridge again, or if you're coming with me, we're taking full wheel. So taking your hands behind the ears, press on up. If you can go straight up, go for it, but otherwise just pause onto the crown of your head and then press yourself up. Really see if you can work towards straightening your arms and pressing your chest forward towards your hands. Okay, when you're ready to lower, take your chin to chest, slowly lower down. And then take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. All right, scoot on forward if you are towards the back of your mat. And we're lifting up into shoulder stand. So once again, you want to find a sensation of snuggling your shoulder blades towards one another. And then stacking your hips over heart as much as possible. And then lower your feet back behind your head, coming into plow pose halasana. If it's in your practice to clasp hands, feel free to do so. Be mindful of any hyperextension in the elbows. If you know you're hypermobile, you want to keep a slight bend in the elbows if possible. Or it may be feel better to just take your hands to your low back for some support. Okay, we're going to slowly roll on down. And then come to sit up. Scooting back, and we're setting up for seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Inhale, lift your arms, and then exhale, hinging from your hips, lower down, catching hold of the outside edges of your feet or the big toes. We want to find a sensation of tilting the hips forward in this forward bend. So we're really finding the target area in this stretch in the hamstrings. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, stay. Inhale, upright your spine. And then scoot forward once more. Coming to lie down on your mat. Hug your right knee into chest, extend your left leg out long. And then cross that right knee over your body, coming into a spinal twist. So knee crosses over to the left, gaze turns to the right arm is out long to the side. That twist is such a great one to stretch out your glutes and IT band. Okay, switching sides. And then release, and coming into your very well-deserved Shavasana, finding a moment to rest. We've worked the muscles hard. This is now your time to really let everything go, let everything rest and release and soften, closing your eyes, softening your breath, allowing mind to be still. And when you're ready to come out, begin to find some movement in fingers and toes, rolling onto one side and then pressing up into a seat. We'll close with a breath. Inhale, reach your arms up, and then exhale, taking your hands in prayer to your third eye, bowing forward. I really hope you enjoyed this class. Thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you very soon.